front, it can, oh,
Perfect. There we
thank
go.
you. If you bring it to the forefront, then this can really be a effective marketing strategy. So you can see on the screen there, we have Wendy's. So Wendy's is probably
one of the most infamous Twitter accounts right now, we'll say that
yes.
much.
But if you have not thought about bringing your customer care to its own dedicated Twitter, that might be something that you want to consider this year. You're already probably doing the work behind the scenes to provide great customer care. When people can see those conversations live, not only does it cut down on your admin time, but it also reinforces your customer care and service and builds trust. So it is a unlikely marketing trend, but it's one that we're watching
very
for.
valuable. Yeah. Now, just on that note, actually, one of the things that you could look to implement is an automation funnel on that flow. So channels like Google, Facebook, they've got a lot of automation channels where you could basically automate that first message, that first touch point with a client. So when they reach out to you, you don't need to be the one instantly messaging back. You can deliver that quick response based on some keywords and things like that. So if you are interested in introducing some automation to relieve that workload off your shoulders, feel free to reach out to us and we can kind of walk you through that.
So that's the end of our first section, how to get the most out of your marketing budget. So as we said, if you don't have a marketing budget, do not worry. That is basically what this seminar is about figuring out as well, is how to get the most out of what you have. So with lockdowns, we get it. Marketing is usually the first thing to go, but it doesn't need to be. If you find yourself with having a little bit more time during the lockdown, then this will be great for you.
All right, so let's dive into something that I'm sure you guys are all very curious about. Mobile optimized websites are essential to your business success. Realistically, nowadays, a mobile optimized website is the #1 foundation that Google is looking for. Search engines like Google, Bing, wherever you're coming from, even Yahoo if you're still on there. Mobile optimized websites are being prioritized. So make sure that don't get caught up in the nuances of it, the little nitty gritties. Look at it from a user experience side of things first and foremost. So as you're building out your website, make sure that it'll work on a number of devices, whether it's a small iPhone or a larger tablet. Make sure it looks nice, it's seamless, the information is there. Once you've got the website laid out in a way that's functional for you, then what you really want to make sure is that the images load fast, the site experience is there to match what you're generating for your customers. So looking at this, statistic-wise, as of the first quarter of 2021, 55% of people worldwide are using their mobiles for web. So if your website is not mobile friendly, then that is a massive audience that you are either alienating or missing out on altogether, or being punished for by search engines. So make sure that your website is mobile friendly first, and then from there, you can build out the other experiences to complement.
Yeah, so if you have any marketing budget, this is where it goes first and foremost, because this is how you will get found in your industry and in your area if you are service-based. I say only in your area if you're service-based, because if you do have an online business, really the world is your oyster. Like we want to optimize you for any location. But say you are a hairdresser in Georgina, then if you do not have a mobile optimized website and another hairdresser does, Google will not rank you as high. They will come up first every single time you type in, Keswick hairdresser or Georgina hairdresser. So that's why we say if you have any budget, this is where it goes. And if you need to drop off other things from your marketing, such as print ads, radio ads, social media, whatever it is, put your money here first. So that being said, we'll go to the next one, but this is first and foremost.
Exactly. Make sure that you have a good foundation, because really that's what you're building off
of. Focus on the foundations. Okay, so the next one is the tried and true. So there are so many different platforms out there, and if you are overwhelmed with how many things you're supposed to be doing on social media, whether it be TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, email marketing, like the list goes on and on. We totally get it. So First and foremost, we want to work on those marketing techniques that have worked and will always work because they are at the foundation. So instead of focusing on trends and fads, and we spoke on some of those trends already, before you can go and experience those trends, we got to make sure the base layer is good. So word of mouth marketing has never died. 92% of people trust recommendations from their friends and family. Now that we're living in a digital world, I'd like you to reframe your mind when it comes to word of mouth. It's not just me telling my friend at a party about this amazing hairdresser. It's about what they see online. So creating experiences that can be shared. So that could be even a fully digital experience, but say you are shipping a product or good, having a note in there from you saying thank you makes a huge difference, making the unpacking process something that someone would want to actually video or share with their community. Thinking about online reviews. Are you asking your customers for online reviews? Are you doing giveaways where if someone visits your, say, restaurant this month or orders takeout from your restaurant, considering we're in a lockdown, if they order, they get automatically entered for a free gift card. Now, what that does is it continuously shares with other people in their circles. You can also do that way digitally on social media. If you're doing a giveaway and you are, say, a spa, or even, I mean, what are some of the things we have? Plant seeds, laser cutting, so engraving. So say you want to do a giveaway for your goods. If you haven't already, having a tagged experience where you tag someone who would love this giveaway. And instead of having the person who tagged be the winner, having the friend be the winner, because you know the person who's tagged is already aware of your business. You want to open it up to new people and you want that experience to be shared. So word of mouth marketing isn't going anywhere. It just is now digital. The next tried and true thing that you really need to focus on is your SEO. So
SEO, or search engine optimization, probably a buzzword that you guys have all heard, especially as you think about building out your website or building out your mobile friendly website in this case. It also comes under a few different buckets. We've got SEM, which is search engine marketing. Don't be overwhelmed by it. Again, as Michaela was saying, don't bite off more than you can chew. Concentrate on the basics, the foundations. So from SEO, the key things I want you to take away from it are that really what you're doing is you're building authority for your website. So it is trying to build links and awareness on your website that isn't necessarily targeted towards other users, but is targeted towards search engines, which help them identify those users that will be relevant to your industry. So for an example, when we're looking at a website for a new client or something along those lines, one of the things that we will do is we'll concentrate first on that experience side. So going back to that mobile friendly website, the Google Core Vitals. So making sure that website loads fast, efficiently. There's nothing weird happening. There's, clients aren't being bombarded with an ad popping up, blocking their space. That kind of stuff nowadays is being ranked for part of that SEM category. So you want to make sure that the experience is there first. Once you've got that good foundation, at that point you can dive in and you can start building out a web of SEO. So what we mean by that is we add pages for services on your website. That will generate more keywords. Keywords are good for your rankings. Blog posts, write a blog post that talks about a keyword or service that you're offering and give it in the context of the user. The more you can talk about a service or a particular offering, the better it will be for search engines to find you. Because again, all you're doing is you're increasing your relevancy to that particular service or keyword within a local market or market space. And then again, generating that relevancy to clients or customers. So just build out that web as you're going, make sure that you're delivering an authoritative experience, something that's relevant, and then always have it relate back to experience. Once you've got those core foundational elements down, at that point, yeah, you can get more technical. We can do offsite backlinks. So if you have a friend with a good, high ranking website, if they put a link on their site back to you, that helps. If you've worked with a business in the past, in a local market or in your space, and they put a link back saying, hey, had a great experience with this or bought this game from this company, and they link back to you, that is what's called a backlink. And that from an SEO standpoint helps because again, Google's now looking out and they're seeing, and I use Google in a kind of a general term here, but Google's looking out and they're seeing that other people are referencing your website And this goes back to maybe a blog post or page on your site. And then that again boosts up your domain's authority. So just be aware that SEO is kind of a blanket term, but start with the foundations, make sure that your website is functional, the experience is there, and then levy that to produce those results and expand out and, really broaden your bucket at that point.
So this really goes back to when we said, if you have a marketing budget, have a mobile optimized website. The second thing, really, what we suggest is consistent content that is going to help boost your SEO ranking. So for example, there was that wedding topper, whoever did the design, I can't see her name right now, but if you have seen pictures of your wedding topper on a photographer's website or on a wedding venue's website, asking for those backlinks on their website is only going to help your authority and help you rank higher on Google. So really, your website is the key to your marketing success in 2022 and beyond. That's the most important thing. We could sit here and tell you that TikTok is it and that's it. That's how you're going to be successful. But really, any platform, social media platform, you don't know how long it's going to last. So we don't recommend putting your budget somewhere that we can't see the future of. So the last thing, where to spend your marketing budget. You are your brand. So 86% of customers say authenticity is the key factor when deciding what brands they support. So what does that mean? It means that you are your most valuable thing to invest in. When you are marketing your business, you should be a part of that experience. You should be on the forefront of that marketing when it comes to social media posts, when it comes to your stories, when it comes to your about page, your team page. And if you are a larger company and you have multiple team members, they should be involved in that humanization of your brand as well. What this will do, it will create an instant connection with your audience, with your followers, that will really help boost their confidence within the company. So we're going to take a quick poll in the comments. How integrated are you within your business's online presence? So what does that mean? Are you on your about page? Have you posted on social media? Have you introduced yourself to your followers? Do all your friends know what your business is? Do you use your personal social media to promote your business on a regular basis in an authentic way? So in the comments, if you could give us a scale 1 to 5, 1 being I'm not on my online presence at all, you don't have an about page, no one knows who owns your business, to 5 being I'm completely integrated, I am my brand. Could you just pop in the comments where you think you are?
All 5, fantastic.
Awesome. 4, awesome.
Really good.
Amazing. So this is so important.
That's good.
4.5.
Yeah, that's good.
3.
Chris, good.
Good. So a lot of this comes with confidence as well, but because you're passionate about your business and considering you're here on a Monday during a lockdown where everything kind of feels, I don't know, like depressing, right? Like we thought we were out of this.
We're a little beaten down. It's been 2
Yeah.
years of this, repetition of just nonstop insecurity.
Yeah. So the very fact that you're here means you're passionate about what you're doing. So share that passion. You are your most valuable marketing tool. You really are. So that means get comfortable in front of the camera, show the behind the scenes, break down that wall between customer and business and show them what's going on. So something as simple as sharing when you get new product in, sharing when you're delivering a package or packing up a package, all of that is really, really important.
Now, Julie makes a good point here. So if you're uncertain about being on camera, maybe you're a little camera shy, whatever the case may be, there are ways around that for sure. Like use your strengths, as Michaela is saying, your strength is that you are a small to medium-sized business. You are nimble as opposed to these giant corporations or big businesses that are dominating markets with a faceless presence. You are personal, you're relatable. People nowadays are more likely to engage and shop from a company they trust, 92% more likely to be exact, to shop from a company they trust. So what does that say? Give them that trust factor. Let them know who you are and why they should value the experience with you. Now, there is some, obviously,
there's some simple ways to do it. It could even be switching from an info at your company's website to your name. It could be you're posting something that you usually would on social media, but you're doing it in first person instead of saying, we value this, we do this. You're talking in your first person and you're signing your name and your position, founder of blank business. And those little things will help build trust. When you are answering DMs, if you do customer service via DM, make sure you always sign your name, and that will start to build it. And then hopefully we can build up your confidence to share more of yourself. And you can always share again from your perspective. So you don't necessarily have to be on camera. You can share what you're doing in that moment. For example, we have a clothing boutique, online clothing boutique. Every single time they get an order and they're unpacking that, and the founder of that is very similar, does not like to be on camera. But if she's unboxing her new order, she's sharing it and sharing her first reaction to the new pieces. She's not trying on all the clothes for us and modeling them as much as we would love that, but she's still sharing her experience and breaking down those walls. So let us know. You can always reach out to us and we can give you some more pointers.
If you'd like some ideas or examples of how you can integrate with your audience better.
So we better get moving on. So the third section here is the top underrated platforms your business should already be using. So this one's surprising for most people, but LinkedIn is making a huge, I want to say, comeback.
Yeah, it's dominated in a different sector than originally it was ever targeted for. Really.
This is not just for finding jobs, finding employees. This is a marketing tool specifically if your company is B2B, but also B2C is seeing an increase here. So in Q3 of 2020, the amount of content shared on LinkedIn has increased by 50%. So if you already have a blog for your website, or if you're now considering it after what we've already just talked about, then this is somewhere where you can utilize and share that and reach people within your industry who are reading the content. The ads on LinkedIn, if you're considering paid ads, are 3 times higher than other major platforms. And the people on LinkedIn have a lot more buying power, making it even more beneficial. There's a question there if you want to. Email marketing. So if you don't have email marketing, it's not going anywhere. There were rumors that email marketing was dead. It's not. So the return on investment for email marketing is always been incredible, and it continues to be. In 2021, businesses reported a $42 return on every dollar spent. So again, if you have an e-commerce store, or even if you have a service that you can start the buying process online, then this is for you. And there's a lot of free options, so don't think that you have to have a huge budget to make this happen. We recommend MailChimp if your list is smaller than 2,000 people, because it's free. That being said, you won't have the same automations and features, but it's a great place to start, and you can always upgrade if you are seeing that return on investment, which we'll talk about in the next section. Another option is ActiveCampaign. It is a lot more automated and advanced. So if you want to explore different email funnels and personalized user experiences via email, then that is something you can explore. And then lastly, Drip, which we would recommend for a medium-sized business and larger, specifically with e-commerce. So we can talk about that in a little bit, but email marketing is one that you will definitely want to add in if you haven't already. And if you're nervous because you don't have a list already, don't worry, they are quite easy to build. You'd be surprised. I unsubscribe to almost all my emails, yet I still buy things via email on a weekly basis. So yeah.
Which marks a very relevant point is the unsubscription rate. So again, we'll talk about ROI, a few ways you can kind of track some of that stuff, and why the importance of it. But keep an eye, because if you're noticing that you're losing a lot of your clients on there, then obviously something needs to change a little bit.
And we recommend anywhere from 2 emails a month to 2 emails a week, depending on what your budget is and what your industry is. Of course, you don't want to start at 2 emails a week. You need to build up and place your expectations, or give your
Just don't overwhelm people.
Yeah, you
really.
don't want to overwhelm people, and you want them to know what to expect before they start receiving so many emails, because then they will unsubscribe. So, poll. Do you use email marketing currently, and how often, and how many subscribers, if you're willing to share? I'll let that one sit for a while if you have time to write in the comments there, but we're just curious if you have used email marketing, if you're loving it, if you need help with it. And if you are on MailChimp, we'd love to know as well, because that's the one we definitely recommend. All right, your website, the most underrated platform. And I'm going to breeze right through this one because we've already talked about this a lot, but your website is not a stagnant thing. It should really be updated quite frequently. And that's via blog, via new pages to build that ranking. So we already talked about this, but think of your website. If you're posting to social media 5 times a week and you haven't posted to your website in a month, that's a problem. I want you to not reverse that completely, but really spread out your time and your budget and focus more on your website, because those are the things that are going to last. Pinterest. Is anyone on Pinterest? There are so many benefits of Pinterest, and I sound like a broken record, but stop underestimating Pinterest. 93% of users use the platform to plan purchases, and there are over 3 million monthly users. So that is huge. So here are just a few quick tips when you are posting to Pinterest. If you don't have a business account on Pinterest, you can create one really quickly. It's a visual platform. So you want to do a 2:3 ratio, because most people are viewing it on their phone. 82% of people are viewing it on their phone. So that will fill up their whole screen with that visual. You don't want to roll out video content. If you're sharing Reels, TikToks, any sort of video content on YouTube, this is where you can also push it. And it's an extension of your blog. So anytime you post a blog, you want to push your blog to Pinterest and make sure you're using that same descriptive SEO based copy so that people can actually find your content, and try using text overlay images. You can use free graphic designers like Canva to help you do that. If you have not used Canva yet, it is perfect for small businesses if you don't have a graphic design budget. And you can create those text based prompts for your blogs. And then the most important thing with Pinterest is really be specific with your links. If you are posting a photo of, I need other options from what people were doing.
Well, there's one actually very unique one. They make historical games.
Oh, so cool. So for example, if you are writing about that historical game in a blog, which every game should have its own blog so that you really push that, make sure that that link back is not just to your general website, but to that specific blog or specific product. Because once people leave Pinterest, they want to find exactly what they just saw. So you really want to make that seamless so that you don't see a drop off. TikTok, question mark. Very mixed feelings here. Very mixed feelings here. It's no longer something we can ignore, however, even if we'd like to. And if you're sitting there thinking, I am never going to sing and dance on video, us either. That's not what you need to do though. If you do not see your business on TikTok, or you don't see your industry on TikTok, that's not necessarily a bad thing. That means you have the opportunity to be super, super niche in what you are creating. And there is a way to do it that can be very true and authentic to yourself. For example, we are never going to do a couples dance to get marketing clients. Like, that's just out of my comfort zone, and I just no. But could we share the 5 trends that we just talked about in a little video pointing to the 5 trends? Yes, and that does not feel out of my comfort zone. If you're a construction company, can you share a before and after of a project via video? Yes, you can. So there are ways to do it, and it's no longer something we can ignore. There were 656 million downloads in 2021. It is creeping up there to Facebook and Instagram, which is now known as Meta. Facebook has a new name now. So it's really creeping up to them as a top platform. So it really is time. And if you Google hashtag TikTok made me buy it, I'm sure you will be convinced, because the amount of sales small businesses are seeing. Unfortunately, we have no stats to share with you on this because it's so new. However, like someone just said, viral on TikTok, and it has brought in so many followers. Amazing. And you know, as soon as you bring in those followers, you can nurture them to be clients, buyers, all those things. So just keep an open mind with TikTok, and you can start by just creating your business account on TikTok and start searching your industry. Again, don't be discouraged if you don't see your industry there. That means you're a trailblazer, and that we can really niche that and you can really own that area.
And in addition, that's actually a great way, going back to the earlier point about humanizing your brand. TikTok can be a way that you could bring that behind the scenes content in to give your brand that personal touch.
The small business owner community on TikTok is very, very strong. So it's definitely a community you want to get into, similar to if you're in any Facebook business groups where you support other small businesses in your community. TikTok is like that, but tenfold. So definitely something to look into. Okay, last section, and we've got to do it really quick, but effectively tracking ROI. So everything we just talked about is great. However, if you don't know how it's performing, how do you know where to spend your time and money? If you're like us as a small business owner, you have a lot of different hats, and it means you don't have a lot of time. So we don't want to waste any of it on the wrong platforms. So everything we just went through in trends and platforms you should be using, if they're not performing for your industry after a certain amount of time, we really don't recommend you wasting any time. So this next section will hopefully help you determine where you should be and where you should spend your money.
So marketing budgets in general are very tough. 72% of the most successful companies, however, do track their marketing ROI. So be sure that you're one of them, because that will help dictate, as Michaela was saying, where you're going to be spending that money in the future. So today we're going to talk about 4 critical elements of ROI tracking, especially as it pertains to your marketing budget. So first up, we've got website analytics, followed by customer tracking. Then we're going to talk a little bit about the dedicated sales funnels and elements that you can do to track that. And lastly, we'll talk about deciphering those insights. So first up, I'm sure many of you have heard of it. Maybe you've already got it implemented on your website. Google Analytics is a free tool. Use it. It is essential to any business because it gives you all of the insights that you would need. A lot of those in the new Google Analytics 4.0 are already broken down for you into a tangible way that you can, digest. It's something that you can look at and quickly realize the value of an effort. Now, set it up and test it. It's important that you test it. Test, because a lot of our, well, not our clients, but a lot of people that we know of in the past have set it up. And they've done it on their own, which is fine. Sometimes it takes about, anywhere from about a half hour to a couple of hours, depending on the complexity of your site or your tools. And they don't check whether or not that data is coming in properly. So maybe they've only installed it on one particular page. Maybe there's a piece of code that they've erased or deleted. Whatever the case may be, the data wasn't coming back in. So they thought their tool, their website, their services weren't resonating with their clients. They weren't getting people in despite maybe spending money on other advertising opportunities. So do test it, make sure that the proper channels are functioning and people are coming in and it's working. Another tool you can use to track something like that is custom event tracking. So you can set it up so that it monitors particulars about an element there. So for instance, if let's say you want to track how many people are messaging you or emailing you, that is something you can set up, which leads directly into our next segment here, customer tracking. So you can use customer tracking to just get an answer that you're looking for. So be direct and ask the question. Find out, all right, Sarah. Yes, Sarah, I'll talk a little bit about custom tracking in the Q&A there at the end. So what we can do is create a custom question or survey that can help dictate our ROI. So for instance, we've got the analytics already set up. We're generating this automated data, but maybe you're unsure if someone came from an ad somewhere, or maybe you've run something what's called the dark funnel, where it's hard to actually decipher where they're coming from directly. Don't be afraid to ask people. So whether you're running a form on your website or you've already got them as part of your community and you're trying to follow up and develop that experience or why they've come to you, just ask them. So when you've got a form, ask a question, how did you hear about us? And give them the answers that are specific and relevant to the marketing that you have done. So if you've run a radio ad, make sure you put radio ad in that form question so that they can actually select it and give you that insight that you're looking for. That will again help, because if you know that you've gotten 10 responses to a web form and 6 of those people heard about you from a radio ad, well, that might tell you, okay, how much did those people spend on my business or my services? And then you can use that to leverage that in the future. Now, email surveys, if you're ever looking for a follow-up, they have a 25% response rate. So if you're looking for insights on your community that you've already gathered and generated, feel free to develop that relationship a little bit further and use those email surveys for that. Dedicated sales funnels. So this is a more technical way that you could kind of generate those tracking elements. But what we like to do is we like to create custom links. So whether you're sharing something on social media, or you're looking to share a product review, as Michaela was talking about earlier, to generate that word of mouth, use a custom link. Send someone an affiliate link that's unique to them. You can, or share something on Google with something like a tool like Bitly, where it short forms a URL into something that's unique. You can then look at the analytics for that particular website, page, link, whatever the case may be, phone number, and you can identify how many people clicked on that. And since you know you only posted that link on maybe Facebook, or you only gave that to John Smith, and you know that you generated maybe $400 in revenue from that one link, well, you can pinpoint that back to exactly where it came from and maybe use that to target your future revenues. So looking at this, a couple other things you could do is you can leverage dynamic phone numbers. So let's say you've got a phone number on your site, and that is the #1 way you want people to contact. Now it's tough, because your phone number is listed on Yellow Pages, it's listed on 411, it's listed on Google. So how do you know that someone's calling you directly from your website? That's tough. A lot of people get confused by that because it can be overwhelming trying to pinpoint exactly, you had 100 calls this month, but where did they come from? So one of the ways that we do that and we handle that with our clients is that we actually will create a unique link. There are tools out there called CallRail, small cost. They've got free trials, things like that if you want to just generate short-term interest. But they allow you to create a unique one-off phone number that simply redirects to your phone number. And that gives you, again, a tracking element. So if you've only used that phone number on your website or on your contact us page, or on maybe you've run a landing page for a Google ad, well, that phone number is unique to there. So keep it isolated, keep it contained to that section. So that way you can look back and say, hey, I generated 20 calls from this ad I ran. Great. And now you can look back and you can see, and those tools are great because they actually tell you who called from where, and you can play back. A lot of them actually include call recordings. So you can play back that for quality assurance or to track and see who actually ended up purchasing a service or product.
It's a great way to understand how your print is doing as well. If anyone's still doing any print marketing, then that is a great way to understand if that is worth it, because it's super costly. So if you have a custom email, custom phone number, or QR code on that print advertising, you can really understand if that's where you should be spending your marketing dollars.
Yeah. Now I know we got to rush through this, and I apologize for that. Yeah. But if you do have questions on how you can implement those tools, whether it is for print, you've got a newspaper ad coming up, you want to run a coupon or a promotion, a handout, a flyer, feel free to reach out to us. We're happy to give you that insights and some tools that you're looking for. So last but not least, Decipher the Insights. So realistically, we've talked about a number of ways that you can gather this data. But one of the things that I've noticed, even with our own clients, is that a lot of the time business owners or executives or anyone running the show, they're not looking at the data with regards to how it pertains to a particular effort. They're seeing, oh, revenue's coming in, I'm making money this month, that's great. Okay, perfect. That's number one for sure. But where did that come from? So you want to make sure that you're corroborating your efforts, your insights from all these different tools, and really take a look at the big picture to generate that insight. Am I being successful? Is the money I'm spending on this marketing effort, is it worthwhile? Should I have spent more money on this tool as opposed to this tool, or content on site as opposed to ads? Whatever the case may be, look at the big picture and really compare and see those trends, and tell yourself, ask yourself, why is this happening? And then give yourself an answer and use the tools at your disposal to come up with that answer.
Yeah, which is why, going to Cõlada Marketing for a second here, that's why we always typically start our clients on an hourly basis, not a package, all in package, because you'll find your marketing budget really changes once you understand how successful it is. For example, if you can actually see that you're getting $42 for every dollar spent on email marketing, the chances are you're going to be more willing to want to invest in that area. So that's why we keep it very, very
Exactly.
open, non-contract at the beginning, because it changes so much so quickly when you begin to track this. So that is all the time we have for our actual presentation. We do have 10 minutes here if you have any questions. I know we have some already queued up here, but if you have any questions, feel free to write in the comments. We appreciate you guys being here this morning. Our website is just cõladamarketing.com. So if you need to reach out to us for anything, we're on there. We're on LinkedIn. So we're
If you're looking
available.
for an audit for your brand, to try to understand how your company is currently situated, whether you're ranking on Google, how your keywords are performing, maybe you're writing a lot of content. Again, we're happy to provide you with that free website audit. So reach out to us and just we'll help you with that.
Yeah.
So let's dive in, I guess, to the first question. This was a little bit back from Tara. And she was just asking, wondering how, if you could give maybe some more specific examples. Do you post some personal things on a business page? How do you humanize that brand?
Absolutely.
Like
Tara, what business is yours? Do you mind just writing in the comments? Because then I can give you a more personalized answer. And if you want to, do you want to go?
Might be just easier if I spoke.
Oh,
that's
yes.
perfect. Perfect.
It's actually a small business. It's run by my kids mostly. They're the ones that make the historic games and the laser engraving and stuff. So it's just trying to get a sense of how to delineate and humanize it. So it's one thing I've heard, you just, if you're always just posting about your business and your products, people tend to tune out. But if you put some human behind it, like it's so-and-so's birthday today, or, that kind of thing, just trying to get a way to give it more personality, I guess, rather than simply just feeding product and material about the business.
Definitely.
That makes sense?
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the main things that I'd be curious about, and I'll look into your business, but I would be curious to know how this all started. I think it's so cool that it's a family affair. So one thing that my biggest suggestion would be is, don't act like you've already said it, so now you don't have to. Every time someone gets introduced to your account, they might not know your full story. So even if you feel like you've said it 100 times, they might not actually know that. So we recommend every single month reintroducing yourself and your business to your followers on social media. And that could be as simple as, here are 5 things you might not know about the business. It started here, it's run by these people, etc., etc. And then if you haven't already added humanization, you don't want to confuse people. So you want to slowly build into that. So going back to that video content, when you're working on the games together, that would be a great crossover for people to see your family dynamic or your process for doing it, but still having it product based, so that when people are scrolling through their feed, they're not confused about who they're seeing. Eventually, then you can add in those personal posts, which are just photos, happy birthdays, holiday photos, whatever it is. But I would say the ratio for completely personalized posts via professional posts is about 20-80. And then within that 80, you have another 40% that it's intermixed, and then 40% that is product or service fully based, but adding value through knowledge. So giving facts, and think about those posts that people will save. So why are they saving that post? Why are they sharing it to a friend? And really think about that when you're creating a post, and say, would I save this post? And then ask that question of why or why not. But I'm excited. I will look into that after this call, and I can shoot you a DM and let you know my thoughts.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
All right, let's see. So now Sarah was talking about custom tracking. So let's So let's see. So custom tracking. Sarah, is there anything in particular you'd like some more information on with regards to custom tracking?
Yes, sorry, I missed a word there. I thought you had mentioned some kind of an app or tool that we could use, and I thought I missed it.
Yeah, so there's two tools that I mentioned during that. One is Bitly. It's a complimentary tool. It should be used on the other side. You can come up with a way to brand it. So if you've got a website or an extra URL that you bought maybe when you're building your brand, you can actually personalize your short form URLs to leverage that. But if you just want to use their free tool, that's fine. It'll give you a link like, let's say you've got a really long URL that you're tracking. It's myshop.ca/blog/where do I want to go tomorrow, next week, blah, blah, blah. If you want to short form that down, Bitly allows you to condense that down into like a 10 character or less URL. So that just makes it easier for someone to share or talk about.
And you can really track it in real time.
Exactly. So going back
What
to
was the other one that you were mentioning? Excuse me, that was for the phone numbers, Call Erail or something like that?
So it's called CallRail. It's a
CallRail,
great
okay.
tool. There's a few out there like it, for sure. So make sure, if you're curious, do some shopping around. CallRail is very, I've used it a number of times. We've used it countless times. It's very tried and trusted. It allows you to sign up. They've got a free trial. I think the free trial was 60 days for a while there. I think it's down to 30 at the moment. But it does allow you to integrate your website, your phone number, whatever the case may be. You can automatically shift out your phone number for a unique one. So if you want to generate a 1-800 number, for instance, and just run it for a print ad next month, you can do that. So that phone number would be yours. It would be exclusively yours, as long as obviously you're signed up to the service or whatever the case may be. And then once that print ad has run its course and you see, on the analytics side that your phone calls have dropped from, 5-day, 4-day, 3-day, and now all of a sudden it's down, it's been a week, you haven't got a single call in there, that print ad's run its course, you can change that number or cancel it or whatever the case may be. So
I love that. Okay.
It is a great tool to kind of pinpoint exactly where people are calling from.
Especially when you're trying new things for
Yes.
both Bitly and for CallRail. If you're trying a new platform that you're not sure about, even going back to TikTok, use those custom links so you can actually understand if it's worth your time and worth your money.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that way you're not giving out your personal, like if I only have a cell phone, so I don't want to give out my personal cell phone number. So that would be good to hide that.
That's perfect. Yeah. And then you can control that, and again, going back to quality assurance, you can record those calls. So maybe not for yourself, but say one time, one day you hire someone on to handle that call volume. Well, then at the very least, you can listen back and you can say, hey, how did my assistant handle those phone calls? How did my salesman talk to this client? That person left a review that was very negative after dealing with us.
Yeah.
What happened there? So you can go back and you can kind of use that to build and improve your brand.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, I love this. Everyone is following each other. That's awesome. Is there any other questions we missed? And if not, like Kyle said, we can give you a free website audit after this call. Just shoot us an email. Again, our website, I'll just type it here so you can go to it. And I think
so here's a question that just came in. So if you had to pick Instagram, Pinterest, Facebook, what's your thoughts right now?
Again, I pick your own website first and foremost. And the best thing about choosing your own website is that the content you make on there can be recycled and repurposed to any platform. In terms of gaining more, increasing your website's traffic, Pinterest, because every single post can be linked back to your website. With Instagram, the limitations already. It's link in bio, or if you're lucky enough to be over a certain amount, you will have a swipe up. So I would say Pinterest.
Facebook, depending on your user base, might be valuable as well.
Yeah,
but
I would say if I had to choose for us, just one platform, it would be having our blog and posting to Pinterest or posting to LinkedIn even.
Yeah. Now, if you are looking for more insights particular to your industry or your client type, happy to share those insights with you and take a closer look at your business. So don't feel restricted. Reach out to us. We're happy to talk.
Yeah, and I will pop in our our Instagram. Sorry, bear with us. We have like 4 screens and I'm not sure how to type into that one.
It's just
Here, there you go.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, everyone. And building a website. Amazing. Let us know how it goes. And we'd love to follow all of you as well. So if you follow us today on Instagram, then we will follow you back and stay in touch. Our DMs are open to you anytime. Thank you so much, Nicole, for having us. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Kyle and Michaela. Yeah, make sure you follow Kyle and Michaela, their Instagram, Cõlada Marketing. They've linked it in the chat if you haven't seen it. And yeah, thank you for joining us today. It was awesome. I think we all learned a lot. I did at least. And yeah, again, thank you on behalf of South Lake Futures for joining us. And if you have any questions for me and want to reach out, my email is in the event, I believe, or you can check us out at southlakefutures.ca. And yeah, so if there's any more questions.
Now, Nicole, you'll be sending that video across?
Yeah, I'll send out the video, and if you want to send out your presentation, that'd be helpful, I believe. So yeah, we'll be sending that out.
Excellent. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.